I kind of have to message for different audiences in our work, but I always tell people you spend $2,400 in taxes every year to pay for national security defense. Like that's one line. You have a say in this because it impacts you civically. It impacts the way you live your life. But I also think it is one of those spaces where, and Gina Bennett and I talk a lot about this, and Carmen knows Gina well, and uh, it's a space where women still have to prove that they belong,
That's right.
and it's simply assumed that men were built to do this work.
Yeah, right.
And when I was speaking to several college groups last week or 2 weeks ago, it it makes it literally, and not to sound too precious, but it breaks my heart when 22-year-old young women start to cry and tell me that they are burnt out from having to prove themselves
Mm.
that they belong in these spaces, in part because they're only reading male text in their
Mm.
security program.
Exactly.
And
Because that's
there
what
are,
they're also,
yes, yes. And
yeah.
they are still one of, there's still few women professors, even though that's changing. And I think actually this neuroscientist, I need to send him a note now because I feel like I've thought of him a million times and in the last day, but he used the phrase functional progress. And I thought, have we seen functional progress? I don't think so. I think
Maybe
we
regress.
yes,
I mean,
oh, definitely
in the
regress.
technical and scientific fields, we've seen regress in terms of the pipeline for women and girls.
Yeah.
And and so many of these issues, when you bring them up, get labeled as the woke agenda,
Yeah.
like which immediately
It turns everyone off.
turns everyone off and means it should not be relevant to this conversation.
Right.
You reminded me, I went recruiting a lot for CIA when I was, in CIA. And I once went to a campus in New Mexico, and this young woman who eventually did join CIA, she went to the recruitment thing for a lark and was totally surprised when she saw me up at the panel talking and said, I did not expect to see someone that looked like my mother up there. But that was a good thing and is what led her to apply and join the organization. And it's definitely, when people think of CIA or NSA, they just don't think of mothers. And if they think of women at all, they tend to think of crazed, obsessive, unbalanced people.
Sort of aggressive and hyper masculine.
Yeah, perhaps.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Homeland, for perpetuating that.
Exactly. And Zero Dark 30 didn't help either.